What's up everyone, MK Tom Brady here. So in this video, I want to talk about the cameo problem in Mortal Kombat 1. So cameos are the feature of the game, and really if you look at the patch notes, you can see that cameos have received several nerfs from the first patch of the game all the way down to the most recent one. And in fact, I would say the cameos have received more nerfs than the characters themselves, which is kind of a bummer because cameos are the feature of the game. We had the very first patch in which Cyrax was nerfed, and in that same patch they also nerfed the cooldown on Serena's daggers. They nerfed the cooldown on Goro's Raise the Roof. They nerfed the cooldown on Lohat. In fact, Lohat has been nerfed multiple times throughout multiple patches, including this last one. They also ended up nerfing things like the cooldown on Striker's grenades, and so on and so forth. Now I know that there are a few cameos that have also received buffs. However, those cameos are still not picked as much as the more meta cameos, despite those cameos receiving nerfs. And then we have a cameo like Chameleon, who's picked a lot because her best ability is availability. And more on that in a second here. So another thing I want to add to this is you have these quick recovering cameo attacks. And I've pointed this out before, as have others, that if you use a slower cameo attack and then use a quicker cameo attack, it doesn't come back at the quick speed it's supposed to. Like it's supposed to come back this fast, and now it's going to come back at the slower speed. Here's the reason for that, and I want to explain this. This is because NRS wants to avoid someone from breaking their idea of the cameo system. So if I use a slower cameo attack and then use a quicker one, there's no way, I guess, in the way they have the game programmed, for them to say that that first bar must always be a slower cooldown. Each bar is not individual, it's kind of collective. So if I did a slower move and then did a faster move, the game does not recognize that, oh, the second bar should come back fast and then that first bar has to come back slow. Because what if I end up firing like 20 of these fast ones off on that second bar? When the game comes back to that first bar, is it going to be saved? Okay, well, this bar has to come back slow. No, what's going to happen is you're going to use a slower cooldown move, and then if you use a faster cooldown move, the bar is going to come back all the way at really quick speed. So the slower cooldown move is never going to get the drawback of the slower cooldown if you can circumvent that by just firing off a faster cooldown move right after. So NRS has this done because I guess in the way they have the game coded, or maybe there's no way possible to do this, each bar is not individually like this cooldown for this bar now because this move went off, and this bar has this cooldown for that bar because this move went off. This also makes people discouraged from using their longer cooldown moves because they really want to use the faster cooldown move. So it takes so long, I really don't want to use square wave in a combo unless it's going to kill. I really don't want to use leg grab in a combo when I have no bar because I will build the bar back just fine, and I don't want to worry about how the situation is going to leave me in when I can't use ring toss. This is just more discouraging for people to use other moves other than the one attack. And then when you use some of the other meta cameos like Striker or whatnot, you see just a lot less cameo uses than you originally did. And I'm not here to argue, was this cameo broke or that cameo broke? That's not my point. My point is that a cameo like Chameleon, I think all of her attacks recover at the exact same speed. So it doesn't matter which attack you use, they're all going to come back very quickly. So she's used a lot because her best ability is availability, and she's almost available all the time. This is why you see, Maximilian hinted on it. Like when Chameleon first got released, he said, the game feels a lot faster. It looks fun. You see cameos going everywhere when both people have Chameleon, and it looks like a faster pace kind of assist game. And then you look at the other cameos and you just don't get that. And I don't really know what the right answer is here. More ambushes? I don't know that more ambushes are an answer because the real problem are the cooldowns as well. So it's not just an ambush issue, because with the cooldowns, how often would you be able to ambush? You would still see the same like limitations on the assist. I think NRS needs to figure out some way to have these assists going off more frequently. This would also, a lot of characters that, oh, well, this character isn't as good, would seem significantly better. And they, if the assist could go off more frequently, and characters would not need as many touch-ups as well. Like I'm sure there are a lot of characters that need buff, Sub-Zero, Havoc. I mean, I don't know the state of Scorpion now after his buff. But there are several characters that need buffs in this game. And I think Omni-Man as well, he seems kind of like watered down. Not watered down, but boring. Like it looks like his whole game plan was put assist on the screen, do full screen move, assist, makes it safe. That seems to be like his whole character design. To get in, then when he's in, he's going to do X, Y, Z. But it just seems like, and the more you nerf assist, the more you make it harder for characters to do that. And maybe if more assists were more usable and you could use them more, you would see more creativity in how characters could be used. And I'm not really sure. I do think that several characters need to be changed in general along with the assist mechanic. But this to me is the assist problem of the game. It's the cameo problem of the game. It just seems like the cameo usage is more discouraged. And even characters that have fast cameo attacks, I don't want to use the other moves because I don't want to take away from the fast cameo attack. It's like it's even discouraging me from using the other cameo moves, which might add some things to the gameplay. So to me, this is not a negative video. I want the game to be better. That's why I'm talking about stuff like this. I'm not saying anything about this is bad or that is bad or why play. I know a lot of you guys are only going to view this in a negative way, but I want this game to be more fun and more enjoyable. And I think more cameos going off more frequently would be the answer. I do think NRS needs to find some way to address the cooldown issue so the cameos are more available. And I think you will see a lot more speed in the gameplay, and I think the game will become a lot more enjoyable. But again, let me know your opinion. I just want to also shed some light on to because people always say, well, why is it if I use my fast cameo after a slower move, I'm still bound to the slower cooldown? I wanted to answer that question as well. And I know NRS uses this cooldown system because it's not like MVC1 where you have, a set number of times you can call the assist throughout the fight. It's not like games like MVC2 where the assist can be killed one when being called in, and then you can't use them anymore, which is why that game doesn't have these obnoxious cooldowns on assists. This game has none of that, so they use this kind of weird cooldown system, but it's also just way too limiting right now. So, as always, I always appreciate your feedback. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for more content.